Okay, so some crispy chicken tenders. I'm going to dip it in some ranch there. Give that a taste. Oh man, so crunchy, hot and juicy. Wonderful. And an awesome blossom onion bites, just like a bloomin' onion or awesome blossom at the restaurant with the dipping sauce. Awesome. Another bite. Maybe one more. In this video, I'll be making some chicken tenders with super crispy breading and a nice juicy inside with some awesome blossom onion bites that taste just like the awesome blossom or bloomin' onions you get at a restaurant, only they are much easier to make, along with some fresh veggies and plenty of dipping sauces for an awesome finger food dinner. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell to be notified when new videos become available. Comments are welcome. Okay, so first off, get started on this meal. I'm going to be doing the veggies, which are going to be fresh veggies. And this is pretty easy to do. We're just going to have some broccoli, cauliflower, some celery, and baby carrots if we want. Always have baby carrots around. So all I have to do for this is chop up the vegetables, and that's about it. So when I'm doing a meal like this, which is deep-fat fried, being the chicken tenders and the onion bites, I like to serve it with something that's fresher, so something like salad, or in this case, fresh veggies. And also with the chicken tenders and the onion bites being finger food, I know you can just eat them with your fingers. The fresh veggies is great to go along with that, so you don't need any utensils. Alright, so what I got here is a package of boneless, skinless chicken breasts that are still slightly frozen here so I can slice them easier. And I'm just going to weigh these out and see what I've got here, because they inject so much water in there, and they put a lot of, you can see there's all that water that's soaked up in that pad in the bottom. So I want to do like 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. So I think I'm just going to do the whole thing. It's always good to have leftovers. So I'm just going to trim these up a little bit, get rid of any excess fat, and then I'm going to slice them into chicken tender size pieces, whatever you like. One thing I kind of like to do is slice across the grain like this, and then chop them up if I want to make them smaller, because that makes them nice and tender that way. But you can slice them into whatever size pieces you want. Basically, I'm going to do a little kind of a dry brine here while I let these sit, because they still need to thaw out the rest of the way. So I'll coat them in some kosher salt. Not too much since it's pretty thin chunks. Okay, so I'm just going to cover this in plastic wrap, and then I'll let it sit out here and continue to thaw and brine. Okay, so working on the onion bites, and I've got 2 cups of diced onions. These are yellow onions, yellow sweeter onions than the whites I usually use. Okay, now obviously I can't quite figure out what I want to do, but what I need to do is put some salt on them, and then put them in the strainer and let the juice drain out. We'd like to get them as dry as we can, get more juice out of them. They work better when we batter them. Okay, so next I'm going to make the sauce for the Awesome Blossom onion bites. Basically, it's a nice little dipping sauce. Got a little bite, a little horseradish in it. I think it's probably most similar to the sauce that Texas Roadhouse serves. It's theirs. We're starting out with some sour cream. And I like to mix this right into the container. We save these little sour cream containers and reuse them because they're about 2 cups, and they also work great for dips and stuff, especially when you make it with sour cream. Oftentimes you can just mix it right in there. A little mayonnaise. Some ketchup. We got some prepared horseradish. Now you don't want the cream stuff. You just want basically the raw ground horseradish. A little cayenne pepper, give it a little bit more kick. Stir that up. Tasty. Okay, so I'm going to start setting up my dredging station for my chicken tenders, where I'm going to bread those. Okay, so here I've got my little Presto electric kettle, it's called. I think this thing is great. I use it for deep fat frying. That's one thing you can do with it, but also it makes a nice soup pot or chili pot or beans, just about anything you want. It's kind of like an electric skillet, only it's a kettle pot, so it's got a temperature control and everything. And I got some oil I'm going to reuse, and you can see in there it's got a fill line for doing the oil, and of course it comes with a basket. But it's not just a dedicated fryer, so it has a lot of different uses. Usually after I deep fat fry, I will fill filter the oil back through a paper towel into a bottle there and save it and reuse it. And you can, these chicken tenders, you can easily pan fry these too. Same with the onion bites. So I'm just going to set that temperature to 350 and we'll get the oil heating up. Okay, so for breading, I'm going to be using panko breadcrumbs, a couple cups, and but you can also use flour, but I like the breadcrumbs better. Especially the panko, they make it extra crispy. Okay, so let's go in with some spices for our breading. So we got some black pepper, some salt, some granulated garlic or garlic powder, some onion powder, paprika. I'm using this hot smoked paprika. So let's mix that up real well. And then we need a couple of eggs. 3 eggs actually. That'll hold the breading onto the chicken. And we got some cornstarch, or you could use flour again here. This is the first stage in the breading. I like to use cornstarch because it makes them crispier and the batter or the breading sticks better. But flour will work as well. What you want is you're going to coat these in that so it absorbs all the liquid before you put it into the egg. I'm going to pat these dry a little and get as much moisture off there as I can. You can see that the salt I put on earlier has been absorbed. I do want to put some pepper on these before we batter them or before I bread them. You want to beat the eggs up well. This is a pretty standard style of breading setup here. Okay, so I dredge it in the cornstarch and dip it in the egg. Get it well coated with egg, and then we'll dip it into the breadcrumb mixture. Just want to get those well coated, of course. Kind of pat it on there. Then shake off any excess. We really don't want the excess breadcrumbs falling off in the oil because they'll just burn in there. And then just keep going. Basically, I'm going to do this kind of in batches. I'm going to bread a bunch of these, fill up my plate, and then go over and fry them. And then I'll bread up some more. Okay, so I'll just drop these into the oil one at a time. And like most fryers that operate on 110, this thing doesn't have a lot of juice, so you can't put too much in. But you'll cool it down too far. Just got to be patient and cook in batches. So originally I was going to use the toaster oven to keep the stuff warm, but I changed my mind. I'm going to use the oven, and I just need this bigger pan. So I'll set that on warm. Now I think using paper towels to soak up the grease, the oil is better than using a rack, but that's up to your personal preference, of course. We'll just check that to be sure. It's done. That one could use a little more time, I think. Put them in the oven, keep them warm. And was able to extract some juice there. Dry them out somewhat. Just rinse off some of the salt if there's anything in there. Okay, so we get the last of the chicken out. You can see it made quite a few these chicken tenders for a couple pounds of chicken. So like $4 in chicken breasts, because they're usually about $2 a pound on sale. So. Okay, so now I'm really going to get into these onion bites, these awesome blossom onion bites. And the great thing about these is they taste the same as like the awesome blossom or the bloomin' onion or whatever you get at the restaurant, but they're much easier to make as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to be trying to deep fat fry a whole onion that's been then trying to batter this whole onion and then get it in the fryer and all that. I don't want to do that. So these are kind of like onion fritters, deep fat fried onion fritters. So they taste just like it, and you can just pick them up with your fingers and dip them in. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to mix the batter right in there with the onions. Don't even need another bowl. I already put in some salt. Got some pepper. Some cayenne pepper, of course. Some granulated garlic. Some flour. Cornmeal. A little baking powder. Give them a little fluff. Got some whole milk. My favorite spoonula. Okay, now I'm going to add part of this and then mix it up and see if I need more. You never know, how thick it's going to be, whatever, with the amount of onions you have and how they're diced and whatever. What I'd say is you want this kind of like pancake batter, but it's hard to judge. I haven't made these in a while either, so that's a little thick. Actually, it might be pretty good. I should try it thick like this. You want to get this well mixed. I would say don't worry about over mixing too much. Okay, so now we just want to spoon this into the oil. I'm using this swoop spoon as a tablespoon. So you kind of want a heaping one. We can see I definitely have a problem right off the bat there. That's just coming apart, separating. So I think I'm going to thicken it up a little bit. Okay, let's try another one. Oop, chunk came off. So that one actually did stick together pretty good. I'm just going to let the batter sit for a bit. Maybe let the flour absorb more liquid and create some gluten. Okay, let's give it a shot here. Try to keep it all together when I drop it in. Check on the last of them here. They look ready to go. Okay, it's about time for dinner. We've got our lovely chicken tenders, all nice and crispy, and our awesome blossom onion bites, our vegetables, our dips, our dip sauce, our awesome blossom sauce, our dipping sauce for the chicken, a little of everything. Dinner is served. Okay, so I'm going to get me a plate here. Give me some chicken tenders. Definitely going to get more than I need. Some of these awesome blossom onion bites. We just got these nifty little dishes to hold our sauces. Okay, so I'm going to get me some of this Chick-fil-A sauce. Some of the awesome blossom sauce. Let's get some veggies. Maybe a few more onion bites. Get some ranch. Okay, so some crispy chicken tenders. I'm going to dip it in some ranch there. Give that a taste. Oh man, so crunchy, hot and juicy. Wonderful. And an awesome blossom onion bites, just like a bloomin' onion or awesome blossom at the restaurant with the dipping sauce. Awesome. Another bite. Maybe one more. Okay, so there you have it. Crispy chicken tenders with awesome blossom onion bites and some fresh veggies. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please like, subscribe, and click that notification bell to be notified when new videos become available.